Hello, my name is Sarah and I'm from the Skills team in the University Library. This is the third in the videos about referencing with Harvard Hull and APA. In this video we're going to look at how you reference using APA. Each reference has two parts. There is the in-text citation, which is a part that goes in your assignment to support whatever you're saying or your quotations, and the second part is the entry in the reference list. Though this is a longer reference, has more information in, so that if your lecturer wants to go back and find the information, they can. So the first example is your in-text citation. This one is time management. It's an important skill when studying at university. And then in brackets at the end, you've got the author's surname, Cottrell, with a comma, and the year of publication, 2019. Close your brackets. Underneath, you've got an example of a reference written in APA style in your reference list. So again, you start with the author's surname, Cottrell, comma, S dot, just the first initial. In brackets, the year of publication, 2019, with a full stop after the bracket. The title of the book is in sentence case and italics. So sentence case just means that only the first letter is capitalised. Unless there are any proper nouns or place names or names in there, everything else is lowercase. So you've got the Study Skills Handbook with a full stop at the end of the title. Then got the place of publication, London, and a colon, and the publisher, Red Globe Press, with a full stop. We've looked at in-text, we've looked at quotes in the previous videos, but just to reiterate that, you can see here we've got a direct quotation from a piece of work. So you start with the author's surname, Goldman, and then in brackets we've got the year of publication with a comma, P dot to state the page number, 23. If you are using direct quotations, if it is from something with a page number, you must include the page number. States that, and you can see where the quotation starts because you've got double quotation marks. Emotional intelligence incorporates personal competence in the form of self-awareness. And close your double quotation marks to show where you finish. There are conventions to follow if a piece of information has two authors. So you can see here we've got an example where the authors are in brackets at the end of the piece of information as if you're supporting what you're saying, backing up the point you're making. And the second example, the authors are explicitly named in the sentence. So in the first one, it has been suggested that nurses could be distancing themselves from patients and concentrating on specific tasks as a psychological defence against the pain they might feel. To back this up, we've got this reference at the end. So in brackets, you've got Chambers and Ryder, and you'll notice that we're using an ampersand instead of the word and. So whenever the authors are in brackets, use an ampersand, not the word and. Comma, 2012, the year of publication, and close your brackets. In the second example, the authors are explicitly named in the sentence. So you've got Chambers and Ryder, brackets, 2012, suggests that nurses could be distancing themselves, etc. Because they're being explicitly named in the sentence, we're using the word and not the ampersand. There are conventions to follow depending on how many authors there are for a piece of work. So if you've got one work by one author, you always name that one author. One work by two authors, you can see here, first time you cite that, you use both of them, and you use both of them for every additional citation to that. When you get to three authors, it does change slightly. So the first time you cite something written by three authors, you name all three authors. However, any subsequent references to this, you can use et al., which just means and others in Latin. So the first time you mention it, you name all three authors. Any subsequent citation to that piece of work, you can use et al. This is only for your in-text citations. You can only use et al. In your assignment. You can't put that in your reference list. You would name all of the authors in your reference list. And you can see as well that 4 authors, you would name them all the first time, and then you can use et al. 5 authors, you would name them all the first time, and then you can use et al. And it's only when you get to 6 authors that you can use et al. Straight away. So this is because your in-text citations are counted in your word count. So using et al. Will cut down on that for you. Your reference list is not counted in your word count, so all authors must be named in your reference list. This table is taken from the University of Lincoln guidelines on using APA. They are on our web pages, and I'll show you where at the end of this presentation. So your reference list might look a bit like this. One author, Jones, C. 2013, with a full stop after the date. title in italics and sentence case, becoming a reflective practitioner, full stop, place of publication, colon, publisher. Two authors, you can see we've got the ampersand in between the two authors, so in your reference list you use the ampersand, not the word and. Everything's the same until you realise that this is on two lines. So for the first line of your reference it's left aligned, but once you go on to the second it's indented slightly. It's usually 5 to 7 spaces. It's called a hanging indent, just to show that it's part of this reference. And then you've got multiple authors, so this is 3 authors, and you can see that your ampersand comes between the 2 final authors. And again, you've got this indent for your second line. Your reference list also needs to be ordered and formatted correctly, so it needs to be alphabetical by surname. References should be double spaced. And as I said in the previous slide, the first line of the reference is left aligned. Each succeeding line is indented 5 to 7 spaces for that hanging indent. The most important thing is to be consistent, so you can get away with small mistakes if you do them consistently. You can see that this looks like a mess. There are things that are underlined, there are things in italics, different fonts. Sometimes lecturers will look at your reference list first just to get a feel for what your assignment will be like, who you've referenced. And if your reference list looks a mess, it doesn't bode well for the rest of your assignment. So you want it to look a bit more like this, much more neat, organised, ordered, everything looks the same. There is more information on our web pages. There is an online guide. So if you go to www.hull.ac.uk/skills, there's more information under the referencing tab. And that's where you'll find the APA guidelines, including that University of Lincoln one that I mentioned on the author's page. If you want any more help with referencing, you can contact us either via the support portal at support.hull.ac.uk, via the Library Live chat, which is the yellow box on the library web pages, or via our skills support pages at www.hull.ac.uk/skills. Thank you.